Hello and welcome! In this video, I'm excited to give you a walkthrough of the new Flexmonster Admin Panel. So let's get started! Let's start with the Data Sources tab. Here is a list of all your connected data sources and you can interact with them directly. You can quickly enable or disable a data source and reload it. For example, if you made any recent changes to your data file, simply hit reload and all your data is up to date. You can also view more details about any data source. Just click on Show Details or directly on its name. Here are all the configurations for this data source and you can edit them when needed. For example, you can change the delimiter or separator if your CSV file uses a different format. By default, these parameters are detected automatically, but you can override them if needed. You can also configure data types. For instance, convert numbers to strings or set a date format for timestamps. And of course, if the data source is no longer needed, you can delete it. To add a new data source, click here. Let's give it a name and choose whether the source will be loaded from a URL or from the local file system. You can also disable headers if the first row of data does not contain column names. And here we can see that our new data source has been added to the list. Now, let's move on to the Settings tab. This section allows you to configure various global parameters of the server. Here you can change port, configure security, authentication, and adjust various system settings. Under WebSocket Secure settings, you can easily toggle the VSS protocol on and off and add necessary credentials. This is where you can enable or disable basic authentication and configure CORS. You can also import a configuration file from Flexmonster 3.0 and the system will convert it automatically. Since we are still under development, not everything from the 2.9 version is supported yet, but most of the core functionality is supported and will be converted. Let's change the minimum log level, and we can see the update applied immediately. Next is the Security tab. Oh, we have authentication switched off, so let's quickly go back to Settings and turn it on. Great! So, the Security tab. Here is where you can create and manage new users for basic authentication. And also we can delete the user we created. Then we move to Monitoring. Here you can track performance metrics such as memory usage, CPU load, and check all your open connections. And you can refresh it when you need. The Logs tab shows detailed activity logs. Here we see a running stream of server activity. Everything from when we start loading data sources to when it's loaded, and how long it took for them to load. If the server runs into an issue, the full stack trace will also be available here. You can refresh logs, copy them, or open the logs folder for direct file access. And our final tab is Help. This is where you can find support and guidance. It contains a brief guide and overview of the main UI features of the admin panel, and if you run into any issues, there is a direct link to our dedicated troubleshooting section. You'll also find links to useful tutorials and other helpful resources here. Finally, here are some server controls, so when it's needed, you can restart the server directly from here as well. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye!